Once upon a time, there was a little girl who was afraid of the dark, afraid of the monsters it brought, and of the nightmares. Her mother kept telling her the monsters didn't exist, but sense can't make a nightmare disappear. Finally, she decided to try trickery instead. She gave her daughter a stuffed animal, a little lamb, snow white and wide-eyed, to protect her, she said, from the monsters. The daughter was skeptical. How was something so tiny supposed to stop the things visiting her at night? But the mother said, "Don't worry, it will watch over you and help when you need it. And with time, it will grow stronger than the most terrible monster out there." She left the stuffed animal with her daughter, and for the first time, the little girl slept soundly. After that, the girl wouldn't be separated from the animal again. She nicknamed it Lexa and took it everywhere. In time, she realized her mother's words were coming true. Lexa was growing up with her, getting bigger and stronger every day. Soon, it looked nothing like a lamb anymore. But nobody seemed to notice or care, and so the girl didn't care either. And when Lexa started moving and talking to her, well, that was just another weird thing about it. Another oddity in a series of oddities that nobody seemed to care about. But one day, she forgot Lexa at home, in her room. All day, she thought she felt its presence around her, but whenever she looked up, she saw nothing. On the way back, she was talking to a friend about a book she wanted to read, when she suddenly heard a noise behind her. She looked around, but again saw nothing. When she came home, Lexa was sitting in her room, in the same place the girl had left it. In its claws, it was holding the book she had been talking about. It offered her the book, but in exchange, she had to make a promise to never leave it again, like she had done today, even when she got older. The girl felt slightly uncomfortable at the words and the monster's gaze, but she wanted the book. And after all, Lexa had always been her friend. She had nothing to lose, so she promised. In that moment, Lexa's fur turned pitch black. In the following months, the girl grew more and more afraid of Lexa. What exactly she feared, she didn't know, but its very presence was making her nauseous, its ever-watchful eyes digging into her back wherever she went. But she was determined not to think about it. She had promised, after all. Then, one day, when she was walking through a crowded street, she heard a scream. "A monster!" a woman was yelling. "There's a monster following that girl!" The people around her told her to be quiet, to stop screaming, but everyone fell silent when Lexa raised its paw. The girl turned around to see what the problem was. Lexa's paw came down. There was a sound of impact. Then, nothing. The woman was gone. For a few seconds, nobody moved, and nobody said a word. Then, everybody went on with what they had been doing. No one looked back at the girl, who was still staring at the place where the woman had been standing. Then, she turned and looked at Lexa, and for the first time, she saw the monster. She started to run. She didn't know where she was running or what she wanted to do next. Finally, she came to a halt and realized she was standing in front of her room. She opened the door, and the monster was sitting inside, watching her, smiling wickedly. And the girl knew she couldn't run. After all, the monster had known her since she was a little girl. It knew everything about her, every fear, every wish, every tiny little secret. And the girl wasn't afraid of the dark anymore, or of the nightmares. Now, she was only afraid of the monster. But that was only a small price to pay, wasn't it? After all, there was no real reason to be scared. Lexa had always been her friend.